Folks, welcome to episode 23 of Everything Pro Wrestling. Everything Pro Wrestling has a special episode for you today brought to you by Y2K, aka Kyle Davis. He actually wanted this episode, and we are going to give it to him just because he loves when I stack episodes. So, we're going to talk about some quick news that broke out today that we couldn't talk about. I want to talk about Smackdown going live on Tuesday starting July 19th. The article will be in the description below. And also the brand split. We've brought up some things about the brand split already, and how is it good, is it bad? So I just want to get some different opinions on it. First, SmackDown going live, gentlemen. Are you for it, against it? Is it long overdue? Let's kick it to Balla first.
I think it's long overdue. First, I think they need to cut Raw down an hour because it's just way too long. It gets tiring after a while. I like SmackDown being its own show again because it gives more people to like showcase their talents rather than just watching an endless show.
I feel it. I feel it. Cactus, what do you think right now for SmackDown being live now?
I think it's fair. I mean, WWE has proven that they can pull off a live show, and especially a 3-hour one. So why not make both shows, you know, about the same? I don't agree with the whole 3 hours on Raw, but I do believe like that would be actually kind of cool if you do it for Raw. Why not do it for SmackDown? Why, I can see if it was like Saturday Night Main Event or something like that, but it's SmackDown. SmackDown is just as good as Raw. There have been times where actually SmackDown has blown Raw out the water. So yeah, like I said, politics, blown over here.
Yeah, we discussed that actually earlier. I believe it was me, Balla, and a couple other people were talking about the times when SmackDown was better. And there were only two times, in my opinion, SmackDown was better than Raw. And that was when you had Paul Heyman writing the show with the SmackDown 6. And the other time was the CM Punk, Jeff Hardy, and everything that was going on during that time period was better than what was happening
Yeah,
on Raw.
Jones, hey,
Ice, what do you think about SmackDown going live?
Excuse me. SmackDown going live. I mean, what a lot of people don't realize is the first few SmackDowns before they became their own show were live, but they were just like special events. So to see them going live on Tuesdays, Raw's definitely going to have to go back down to 2 hours because you can't have 5 to 6 hours worth of wrestling back to back Monday and Tuesday night every week, dude. It's way too much. So you cut them both down to 2 hours, maybe a little bit of time for overage for what happens in the main event or whatever. But I think this is going to work for WWE in the positive, especially putting this on live because now you avoid the spoilers. Now you avoid a lot of the stuff on the dirt sheets because both shows are going to be live.
Yeah, I agree with that. I know a lot of people don't even watch SmackDown because they already know what's gonna happen because they read all the fucking spoilers. Sorry, part of my language, man. But they read all the spoilers, so they don't have to watch the show. You know.
Yeah, you're very right about that. I mean, what do you expect though from a show that what happens on SmackDown anymore? Nothing too much.
Uh,
That's just
you
that's
very
just
rarely see a title change. You every once in a while you get like a decent match. Like
Well, it just is a carryover from whatever happened on Raw. They just
right.
put it on SmackDown.
But
So yeah,
SmackDown used to carry over the storylines and make it still
uh,
transition, and then you can show, oh, this happened on SmackDown. That's why this is happening tonight on Raw. It's not like that anymore.
yeah. So hopefully, them going live, the writing will be better, and a lot of the production will be better.
Okay. And gentlemen, the last thing I want to discuss real quick is about the brand split. I put a link in the description for everyone to join the Facebook group. Leave your thoughts and opinions on it. And I just want to I asked people, are they for or against the split? We got Aaron Wilbon. Aaron Wilbon's in there, and he writes that it'll shake things up. I don't know about that. We got Nelson Ball in there. He wrote, "Can't wait. SmackDown was my show growing up." EPAT, aka Eric Patterson, released for it. He liked it when it was Raw versus SmackDown and everything like that. Mark Warner's for it. Casey Briggs and me seem to have the same opinion. It's god awful. He's against it. James Farley's against it.
What is for Casey? Casey's not for anything, man. It's like, it's not a surprise.
Listen, man, it's awful. I mean, we can definitely explain why. Rez is against it. Rich is against it. Or Rich is for it. I'm sorry, and Rez is for it. I apologize.
I'm for the split because, name me the main guys that you see on Raw every Monday. Like, literally. I think guys like Tyler Breeze would benefit from not only SmackDown being a live show, but its own separate band because, every time I look on Raw, it's Roman, Reigns, or Seth Rollins, or Cena, or Randy Orton. Even though Orton's gone, but still, give some of the newer guys. I think some of the newer guys from NXT that are coming up would benefit from it. While you could see Enzo and Cass make a bigger impact on SmackDown than they could on Raw. It's just like for that table for three discussion. Was it I was talking about the other day?
Daniel Bryan, Ryback, someone else.
Daniel Bryan was saying how, what's the point of me defending the IC on Raw when it's going to be overshadowed by Cena in the US, challenge. I think SmackDown, with the right amount of people, can actually give Raw a run for their money instead of it just being like a continuation show like they usually do Saturday night main event, Saturday night Velocity and all, Sunday night Velocity, Sunday night heat, stuff like that. Give SmackDown equal creative opening and challenge and run, around.
Paula, what do you think? You said you liked it. Someone's got Facebook going in the background. Paula,
Yeah.
what do you think? You said you were for it, so let me hear why.
Hollywood was interesting to see like each show going head to head, trying to compete who had the better, what going on. I always dug the Undertaker, and like he was like the man of SmackDown and whatnot. I love the Undertaker attitude. I love the Undertaker shoot. I always like the drafts. The drafts are always interesting. Stuff going like this and whatnot. Or like Smoke trying to get their superstars to like win the Royal Rumble. Whatnot. So yeah, little things like that. Kind of
I like the fact that we had two people for it that are in here. I'm gonna let Ice have at it first, and
unfortunately, you got three people that are for it. There are pros and cons to the brand split. Don't get me wrong, but what the brand split did back in the day was it lets you showcase your other talent. Because right now, who do we always like I said, who do we always see on Monday Night Raw? You got Cena, you got Reigns, you got Rollins, you got all these guys, but then you also have guys like Baron Corbin, Dolph Ziggler, Rusev.
Yeah.
Like you got all these guys who are kind of like, yeah, you see them on Raw, but do you really get to see them develop and have them showcased as much as you do Roman Reigns, as much as they do Chris Jericho or these guys? So I think the brand split. Now, I think the brand split would be a good idea. Now the question is, how are they going to do the title layout? Are you splitting the titles again? Are you keeping the world title going back and forth between those shows? How are you going to do it? Because if you're going to do a clean split, that means each show needs their own title. Each show needs their own tag team championship, and so forth and so on. So hopefully they have a good idea and premise about how they're going to do this, and then they stick with it. Because the problem that got around about 2013 was you just started seeing SmackDown guys on Raw for no reason. Excuse me, and you were like, all right, I thought we had a brand split, and then it just was like, all right, we haven't said it, but the brand split's officially over now. So hopefully, with Stephanie and Shane at the helm, we can see a pretty decent brand split.
Well. All right, gentlemen.
I agree, man. I agree with Ice, what you were saying in the beginning. A lot of guys are stuck in like mid-card limbo because of, one show. And guys like Roman and, I love Seth, but guys like Seth too, they got the main event in lock. And all these guys can't make the jump because there's only one show.
Well, yeah, see, Ice touched on like two of my minor concerns, like with Stephanie and Shane running stuff. Would they bring back another belt? Because we would want to have a alternative champion because it would be like, okay, what's better? Raw champion, SmackDown champion. We have to deal with Roman Reigns being the champion on Raw. Then hey, give us a second belt and maybe somebody like the underrated talent that we want to see longer be champion like Dolph Ziggler. Maybe they had done this months ago. Maybe we might actually see somebody like Wade Barrett who wants to be champion. I think like with a second belt and a second show, a live second show is that some of these guys that fall through the crack can actually have a chance. I mean, don't let it just be WrestleMania with somebody like Zack Ryder does the unthinkable, and it's Cinderella loses her shoe at the prom or the ball or whatever, and finds the prince. Like, let SmackDown be that show where we see some of these guys like step up. I would have loved to see Kofi's version. That could have been like a platform for him.
Gentlemen, I'm gonna have to go opposite real quick and tell you why you should definitely not do this. Number one, you've already proven the first time that you're not gonna keep the brand separated. You can't help yourself. It's like Vince McMahon can't stop touching himself. He has to just dip his hand into SmackDown and bring him over to Raw because if Raw's getting boring, I gotta shake it up. But it's only been 2 months. I don't want to see that. If you ever try and do Raw pay-per-views and SmackDown pay-per-views again, you're asking for trouble. If I ever have to watch Rhino versus Tajiri as a semi-main event match ever again, there's going to be problems. That unsubscribe button is going to be getting hit so quick from WWE Network. You can't have things like that. So number one,
but see, you don't separate the pay-per-view.
Hold on. I'll let you guys have it. Hold on.
All right.
I'm just telling them what they shouldn't do. I haven't even gotten to why this definitely shouldn't happen. You already proved that you want to have 2 belts when you have a brand split. Why? Because you got to keep everybody happy. So, here, Rey Mysterio, I know you're selling a lot of masks. Here's the World Heavyweight title, a.k.a. the new Intercontinental title. That's all it was. Let's be honest. Who had it? Sheamus, Orton. It was just to keep guys happy. So, it's like, yeah, you're not really the WWE champ. You're really not anything. So, that's basically what it was the entire time. All it was Triple H got it over. Here, SmackDown, this is for you now. Thanks. And never to be thought about, given any props again. Dave Bautista main evented for that world title for 6 months, and he lost every time. How does that happen? Because there's a brand split and there was no one else to fight for the belt. Oh, you can't have things like that occurring. People are going nuts on Facebook about this. But you just can't do that stuff, man. And what are you gonna bring 2 belts back for? Just so you could give Bray Wyatt a championship? Is that really the cool thing to do? Or to give it to someone like a Baron Corbin? It's not going to help them. They've already proven that they don't know what they're doing with that kind of stuff. That's just
certain people could get pushes, man. Pushes that they couldn't get on Raw because they think outside.
Who got pushed last time from this?
Guerrero.
Where is he? Where is he?
But you're saying that like these guys retired or got fired. These guys are dead. Like
I'm just saying, there's nobody around.
They benefited from the brand split because you really think Eddie Guerrero would have beat Triple H?
Doubt it.
And here's another point that me and Cactus have disagreed on before. You can't have 2 world titles. There's no 2 best. Like, I'm the best and he's the best. What's up, brother? Let's smash belts together. We're both the best. Yay!
No, you're right. You can't have it where they say he's the best. But when you had 2 different world titles, it felt as if, I feel like the World Heavyweight title means more because of these storylines and this and this and this and this and this. And then I don't feel that belt over there means anything because of XYZ. Like, I felt the WWE Championship meant more back in the original brand split because you had all these intriguing storylines around it. Whereas Monday Night Raw with the World Heavyweight title was just like, hey, Triple H is the champ. Oh, and he beats everybody. So,
And that was Rey Mysterio time when SmackDown was
the
better.
the title is only as good.
but then I felt,
the story and the person holding it and the creator.
true, because then I felt in 2009 when CM Punk was the World Heavyweight Champion and Jeff Hardy was the World Heavyweight Champion, that belt, it meant more because of the storylines that were around that title versus what was going on Monday Night Raw with the WWE title with John Cena holding it. So it's not about, oh, they're two best. It's just a matter of giving people an option. And some people, you already know, just because of the structuring of WWE, without that brand split, they'll never be World Heavyweight Champion. No matter how much we say, no
there
matter
is
how
a
much we
clear
believe they should be.
disrespect to the World Heavyweight title. Let's all remember when Undertaker won the Royal Rumble and challenged for Batista's World Heavyweight title. Did that main event WrestleMania 23? You were there, right, Ice? You're from the Motor City. Who main evented?
It was Shawn Michaels and John Cena.
Oh, I wonder why. That's the end of this. That's garbage. You don't do stuff like that. If you were going to really make the brand split mean something, you don't do things
Well,
like that.
Chris Benoit won the Royal Rumble and the World Heavyweight title main evented.
Yeah, and that was a good story, and he still got the big hoorah, and I still respected Eddie Guerrero. But when you have the main event person win that, basically people challenge for the world title, and then they get the challenge for it. Sheamus, same thing. You're in the opening match of WrestleMania? Huh? I thought you were getting a main event spot.
It depends on how compelling the story is.
It was kind of split, but it kind of wasn't because they had guys appearing on other shows. You know.
Exactly. I don't think you can compare the brand split once this thing has been going on since. Dude, the brand split started back in what? 2003? 2002. 2002. You're comparing. You think after all these years of the brands being separated, guys jumping from one show to the other, that by the time it gets to year 9 of the brand split, that this stuff just doesn't end up starting to commingle again. It just was bound to happen. But there were a lot of guys who benefited from that brand split because you had all these guys on Monday Night Raw. Jeff Hardy wasn't going to get in that world title picture when you had John Cena, Edge, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Chris Benoit, all these guys in the world title picture.
But I think
For the
that
WWE title.
forces their hands to keep the belts on a John Cena longer if there is a brand split. They're like, oh, well, we're switching the champs on SmackDown, so if you want to see that, go watch that. But John's here. Do, 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 do. You know what I'm saying?
And that's instantly but Cena's time with the world title is pretty much done. He doesn't need the world title. He's gonna still sell T-shirts. He's still gonna get his reaction from the crowd, however he's gonna do it. He doesn't need the world title. He made that pretty clear when he was a U.S. champ. He went from the highest belt they got to the lowest one. So he doesn't really need the world title. This is where the brand split is where you showcase your future stars. Because guess what? John Cena's about in his 40s now. So how much longer do you think John Cena's going to put his body on the line when John Cena can go out here and do a movie?
I'm so glad you said that. That's going to bring me to my next point. Do you go down now and just basically pilferage NXT? Take half of those guys away, knowing, well, hopefully you have some people that are going to carry, whatever. So you take all those NXT guys and bring them up. What happens when everyone gets injured like they did before WrestleMania again? What happens when you have all those injuries, and then what? Oh, sorry guys, back to one show.
No,
gotcha.
You just have to push through it until people get healed. But that's also WWE's fault because when someone gets a small injury, instead of having them take off a few shows to heal a sprained ankle.
They make them work through it.
You wanna tape it up and make them go out there and work, and then that sprained ankle
That's worse.
becomes hyperextended, and now I'm out 4 months to let my ankle heal. So now you're short a superstar. Oh, that guy over there, he took a bump the wrong way and his elbow got dislocated. So now he's out for 2 or 3 months to get it reset, make sure it heals properly, make sure there's nothing weird going on. So it's really on WWE to take care of their superstars. If somebody goes, hey, I took a spot in that match, I tweaked my shoulder, I don't like the way it feels, then hey, take off a week or two, we'll pull you from the live events, go get it checked out, make sure everything's cool, get a massage, go do whatever you need to do, and then when you're good, come back. So this way you don't end up with the whole, oh, all my guys are out hurt that I really need for WrestleMania, and then on top of that, I'm suspending people too for the stupidest reasons or whatever they may have done. So,
well, let me ask this then, gentlemen, with the titles, because the brand split's happening. Whether I don't like it, but it's happening, so I can't really. I got a deal. But do you split the titles up again? Do you need 2 tag belts, 2 mid card belts, 2 world titles, or do you say the champions we have now can go back and forth?
I would say
you split the IC in the US, the tag team in the world go back and forth.
Okay.
The tag team world and divas go back and forth. Because the tag team division, the tag team division ain't still really not that big. So
how about that cruiserweight title?
I would say tag team back and forth, and the divas go back. But you split both world titles, you keep IC on. You keep the US on Raw, and you take the IC to SmackDown.
I'm telling you what's going to happen. Somebody's going to pull a Brock Lesnar. Somebody's going to get the world title, and they're going to go, I'm not defending this belt on this show, so figure it out. And then they're going to end up splitting the titles. Because other than that, if you split the titles down the middle, where you put the US on SmackDown, the IC on Raw, the women's title goes back and forth, and the tag team titles go back and forth, which will be fine. And then you have 2 world titles. You have the World Heavyweight Championship, the WWE Championship. It may get a little tricky because you're going to have to have a tournament for one of those 2 belts. And you can't do the Triple H. You can't do the Triple H Bischoff handoff, where it's like, oh, yeah, here you go, Triple H. I'm not going to let you fight for this. I'm just going to hand it to you.
Yeah, I don't want to see a recap of that again. Well, gentlemen, we'll see on July 19th how this all turns out. SmackDown going live, the brand extension. Folks who watch this, I want to hear what you guys think. Sound off below in the comments section.
Here's a spoiler. Maybe we'll see Dean Ambrose go to SmackDown and he'll actually get a world title run.
Please, I'm hoping.
We'll see. We got to wait till July 19th for right now, so we'll see what happens. Bala, I want to thank you for coming on. Cactus, Ice, I appreciate you guys coming on real quick just to discuss this. Sound off below. Join the Facebook group. Folks, we are out. Have a good day.
Peace.